This anime really wants me to get more into fashion big time. It's a shame I'm just too lazy. Paradise Kiss is a 2005 romance drama anime based on the manga of the same name written by Ai Yazawa. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it's because this author also wrote Nana, which is an anime and manga that I really love. And since she wrote the original manga Paradise Kiss before Nana, you can definitely see the starting point of a bunch of her style and writing. And because of that, I find this show to be much weaker than Nana, but I'll get to that.
The anime centers around main protagonist Yukari, a studious high school student who is beginning to question her life. She then encounters a group of fashion design students who own the clothing label Paradise Kiss. They ask Yukari to be their model, and though reluctant to accept at first, she agrees as the group begins to inspire her to pursue her own dreams. As she gets closer to the group and the members, she eventually falls in love with the leader, George.
We'll start off with the positives, as usual. First off, our 5 main characters are pretty distinct with unique personalities and great character designs.
Our heroine, Yukari, is an uptight high school student who is having trouble with her overbearing mother. George is a suave bisexual man who creates dresses just for the fun of it. Arashi is a punk rocker who has a tough and rude attitude. Miwako is a bright and energetic girly girl who always gets emotional. And finally, Isabella is a rich transgender woman who speaks and dresses with grace and elegance.
These are all great characters with different personalities that all clash well together, and their actions throughout the anime with the struggle that they go through are real and believable. For the most part, I wasn't really a fan of how annoyed George constantly got towards the smallest of things.
But anyway, the journey that I enjoyed the most were those pertaining to Yukari and Isabella. Yukari of her journey in finding herself and clashing with her overbearing mother who disapproves the fact that her daughter isn't very smart academically. The fact that Yukari's younger brother is a young genius for his age doesn't help with this. Isabella's journey and my enjoyment of it should be obvious, but the 10th episode focuses on her past and how she became who she was today, and I really enjoyed the friendship that she has with George. She was absolutely my favorite character and the strongest in the anime in my opinion. I also really enjoyed the fashion and the clothes that all the characters wore throughout the anime. It helps that Ai Yazawa attended a fashion school after high school but did not complete her studies there. Because of this, all the designs of the characters are distinct and different.
It also makes me want to wear all these outfits, from George's suave suits to Miwako's frilly outfits to Isabella's Victorian-like dresses. The characters always have different outfits on, and they were all clothes that I could see people wearing in real life. And this also matches well with all of the characters' different designs. Another positive with Paradise Kiss is that, just like with Nana, there is a sense of realism in terms of the characters' relationships with each other.
Whether romantic like Yukari and George, or platonic like George and Isabella, the way that the characters interact with each other is very realistic and the dialogue between them is real and believable. I especially love the consent that happens between Yukari and George.
Now I know that should just be obvious, but after watching certain romance anime like Love Stage and Citrus, this kind of thing is rare for me right now, so something realistic and consensual like this is really refreshing to me. And while I gave praise to the fashion and the different character designs, I found the overall production value of Paradise Kiss to be pretty poor.
While the animation for the most part was fine, the overuse of stills and shots that hide the characters' moving mouths became very noticeable to me. I don't know if it was because it didn't have that big of a budget, but Paradise Kiss used so many classic techniques to save money and didn't try to hide it in a clever way.
Like with Kunihiko Ikuhara can do with his anime, like Revolutionary Girl Utena.
I also thought that the pacing was pretty erratic and the flow of each scene didn't appear natural to me. The scenes would shift to another way too quickly and the flowers or weird animal transitions were often distracting at times. Because of this, the overall pace of the anime felt way too quick and it never gave a scene the chance to end slowly and calmly before moving on to the next one. Also because of this, it made each episode kind of mash into one another, making me forget when certain events took place. I also found the music to be very unmemorable, with the exception of the ending theme of the anime.
Fun fact about this, the ending theme is actually a song by the Scottish rock band Franz Ferdinand. It's an interesting fact, and the song itself is pretty rockin'.
I also found the side characters to be pretty forgettable, making me forget who most of them were when they would show up again. It took until the last few episodes until I could remember who these side characters were and their relationships they have with our main characters, but for the first 2/3 it was a little confusing for me.
My last negative is that I thought that the final episode of Paradise Kiss was a pretty bad one.
The way that the anime ended things on such a down and sour note kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm fine with shows ending on a sad note, but I feel like this anime just couldn't execute this type of ending correctly. It also doesn't help that some of the characters' final actions don't really match with how they were throughout the entire anime, making the conclusions of character arcs end very poorly.
It was a really bad note to leave on, and a big negative in my opinion. So, in the end, I'm kind of torn on this one. On the one hand, I really enjoyed a lot of the characters, the overall aesthetic pertaining to the fashion, and the realism and believability of some of the characters' relationships and personal struggles. All things that I enjoyed in the original author's other work, Nana. But between its very poor production value, characters besides the main five being pretty forgettable, and a really bad final episode, in my opinion, this anime was a little disappointing to me. Well, I'm glad I saw it overall, especially because I got to see another good representation of a transgender character. It didn't meet my expectations that I had while going in. In the end, I'm going to give Paradise Kiss a B-. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more, and as always, comment on any anime that you'd like to see me review. Catch you later.